Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Paul, and in today's video, let's go a bit deeper into the sizing of the Hermès Chypre sandal. I did unbox these beautiful taupe-colored Chypre sandals a few weeks back. In that video, I did mention that these are the men's version of the Chypre sandal. By the way, I'm so sorry about the pronunciation of these sandals because it might be completely wrong. And if you know exactly how this is supposed to be pronounced, feel free to correct me and educate me. But until that, I'm gonna go with Chypre. I was a bit struggling with the sizing because I obviously also watched a lot of videos on these sandals from both like the women's version as well as the men's as well. And there seem to be a lot of question marks when it comes to sizing of these particular sandals. And even though I haven't worn them outside yet, because it's winter here, it's snow, I haven't been to any lovely tropical trip yet, so these have been untouched. And I did mention that I will film a proper review once actually spring summer comes, and I have used these just to kind of see if this is actually so comfortable that everyone seems to think, or at least advertise on YouTube. But I did get a few questions when it comes to sizing on these, and I thought that I could actually make a separate video just about the sizing and just to kind of share proper measurements and then compare this men's sandal to a women's Hermès sandal in the same size, if that would help. But obviously shoes are super subjective. The sizing is so subjective. So please take this as only one person's opinion, experience, something, and how it works and how I thought when I was picking up the size. Because for me, going to a store and trying them on was really not an option because I live in a country where we don't have an Hermès store. So ordering online was pretty much the only option I had. And of course you can return. And I was considering, should I order multiple sizes at once? But then I was just kind of thinking that no, let's just try to figure this out, because the returning process, I just couldn't really bother with that. I have once ordered from Hermès online and needed to return, and I have to say back then it was a hassle because they said that in my online profile there would be a link for a return slip or something. Well, there wasn't. And then hunting down Hermès customer support was actually terrible. There was this kind of send contact something, no one answered to me in like 3 weeks, and I was getting a bit upset because there was like a 30-day return policy or something like that. So I didn't really want to test that route again, and it might be that I was just very unlucky and they fixed something and so on, but I just didn't want to go there. A very big sidetrack over here. All in all, I thought we could look at the sizing with these sandals, compare it to women's, and then hopefully this will help someone, or then it won't, and we will just have a chance to look and talk about Hermès sandals. As the comparison shoe, I did bring out my Santorini sandals in white, and yes, there is some dirt because these I have used. But if we go to the exact sizing of these, both of them are in size 42. So I have owned women's Hermès sandals for a few years now, and I'm definitely the size 42. It actually is still probably visible in there. In them, there is no chance that 41 would fit me in these type of sandals. There's just like no way. And if I'm thinking of my actual shoe sizes, I'm usually between 41 and 42. 95% of designer shoes I am 42, because for some reason they are made for a bit more petite foot than what I have, I guess. The only exception I have is Stuart Weitzman. With those shoes, I am definitely a 41. So maybe they are then built in a more regular sizing, or that they are then bigger. I don't know, but with that brand, it's 41. Basically everything else is 42. And my feet is approximately 27 centimeters long. And of course, with this type of sandal where there is a closed heel, it's quite important that the toes are not like going over the side. What I was thinking with these sandals is that it's open from both ends. So if there is like a millimeter here, a millimeter there, I would not be bothered. So that's like one part of it. There is a size chart on Hermès website when it comes to these sandals. And I did have a look at it. So according to their size chart, the size 42 is 26.5 centimeters long. And the 42.5 and 43 would be then, I think, 27 centimeters long. And why did I take the risk anyway of getting 42 instead of 42.5 or something like that? I was a bit concerned that it would then be too wide for me. Yes, there is this Velcro part that you can make it tighter, but like if this area is just like too big to begin with, I don't think this is gonna help too much. And I didn't want a shoe that would like be uncomfortable wearing, that I would need to like crunch my toes in this to like maintain it in my foot or something. So that was one reason why I didn't want to go like to super big sizes. Then the other thing is that I was a bit wondering that is the 26.5 like this part that is kind of flat before the edges start curling, or is it the whole sandal? And I don't know, I felt so conflicted of looking and watching everybody's reviews, and they were a bit different, and I was just like, screw it, I'm gonna try my own way and then we will see. I am super pleased by taking the size 42 with these sandals, and I think next we could switch the camera angle a bit to the toe section, and I will show what they look like in my feet and also compare what it looks like with the white Santorini sandals, so you can kind of see yourself how tight fit they are or whatever. And then of course, like, we have different preferences. Some people might want that there is a lot of space in the heel or toe area, and some people are okay that they are just like exactly the right length or whatever. So this is just for you to see what it is with the sizing and my feet. All right, please excuse my winter feet, but this is how they fit at the moment. So this is how my toes are, and this is where my heel is. Oh God, I am pale. I'm so sorry about that. It might also be that the window provides a bit more paleness, maybe. But this is the size, and I would say that there is not that much like extra space here. My toes are right there before like the edge starts curling upwards, and then from the heel side it is exactly where the kind of heel area ends and the sides start going upwards. So this is the size, and of course then it comes down to personal preference. How do you like your sandals to sit on your feet? Do you want there to be a lot more extra space in the front or in the back? Then maybe you will need to get a bit of bigger size. But for me, this is exactly the right size in my opinion and in my preference. So next I will compare the Santorini sandals I own from Hermès from the women's side, so then you can see if there is any kind of difference. And here we have the Santorini sandals in the size 42. So as you can see, my toes are quite at the edge, but they don't go over the edge. And then of course the heels are where the heel is. But I would say that comparably, they are pretty much the same size. I will still share the measurements on how long exactly the footbed it is on both of these sandals. But this is basically what they look like next to each other, and then how my foot is in them. And here next to each other, in case this helps someone. So this is what they look like. The white ones, the Santorini ones, women's 42. The right ones, the Chypre sandals in men's 42. Okay, back in business. Let's next take a measuring tape and look exactly what it is with the Chypre sandals and then the Santorini ones. So I will first take a measurement from the flat side, so before the edges start curling. So if we are considering the 26.5, the kind of flat area would be approximately that. Then if we take the whole sandal from like the edges, that would be then 28.5. I'm sorry, this is a very old measuring tape. It might look quite used. Then looking into these, so this is like 28 centimeters long. So there is a definite length difference between the Santorini ones and these. And it's probably quite visible in the footage as well. That there is just like a bit more space in these Santorini ones, but in my opinion, it kind of looks a bit different because of how this is constructed. Because with these like curved edges, they are approximately the same length, which is then longer than my foot itself. And it's just, maybe it comes then down to preference in like in general. What do you want this to look like? How do you want your foot to lay in this? I am completely okay that it is like exactly where the flat area ends, and my heel can even go a bit over like this curved part or start curving with the curved part. I'm completely fine with that, but maybe someone else is not. And that's where the kind of debacle comes from. Like, do you need to size up a half size, one size, 1.5 sizes, even what I've seen, which it just sounds really weird that Hermès sandals would be so off in this particular sandal that you would need to size 1.5 sizes up. So I think it kind of comes down to preference on what you want your foot to be in these and kind of what feels good to you, I guess. A very quick sidetrack of these Santorini ones. So I have tried on the Orans as well. They are just not for me, but I have a very subjective feeling. I don't have the Oran sandals with me because I've ordered them and returned. That was the return story from the beginning of the video. But I think that this 42 in the Santorini is bigger or longer than the Oran 42. I have a feeling, or then it's just like something else in this construction, but all in all, these were very much better for me than the Orans. So yeah, I have a few videos of these sandals. I do recommend them because I love them, and they are so comfortable to walk in and they look great. But they were not the main character of this video, were they? But that's kind of a quick recap on the sizing of these men's Chypre sandals. And if we're then looking at like differences, of course, I don't own the women's, but I've watched quite a lot of videos on them. And the biggest difference is with this H on the foot. So The women's is like, I think like carved a bit more. So this is just like, there is more leather on top of your foot than the women's have a bit more like carved on these H thingies. Maybe it makes it then look a bit more smaller. I guess maybe this might make it look wider. I don't know, because I don't really care. And if you haven't watched the unboxing video, the reason why I even ended up with the men's is that I was so tired on how difficult it is to get these sandals from the women's side, especially if there would be some specific color in mind or size. And then I just realized sometime last year that men have exactly the same thing. In my opinion, this is exactly the same thing. And when I started looking at the website, men at that point, I don't know anymore, but at that point, there were many classic colors like black and brown and this taupe one and many of them. And they had a lot of sizes left. So I actually had the opportunity to choose the color I wanted, and I waited for quite many days to consider, because this is expensive, that am I really ready to do that? And my size was always available. So I feel like it was kind of a better way for me than just kind of needing to stalk the website. I don't unfortunately have time for that. So that was just amazingly brilliant that I did manage to find these, and I can't wait summer to arrive and I can start using them, because they look so easy, just like slide in and then go. But yeah, I feel like I am a bit crazy buying these expensive sandals in January, but hey ho, that's life. And with Hermès, you kind of need to act when you need to act. That's it. Hopefully this was at least somewhat informative and giving you some idea on how the sizing can potentially be in these compared to women's similar size. But of course, it's really difficult to say how it works exactly with different sizes. But at least with this pair, it kind of works. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.